Well, hello, everybody. Hello, Bordentown. Happy Tuesday. So, as I said, I was going to sit down with Chuck Latini today. He's the city planner, and we're going to talk about the comprehensive master plan, what it is, what it entails, and about input that they like from the public, and any concerns you have. So, I'm going to turn it over and introduce yourself.
Hi, it's nice to meet you all. I'm Chuck Latini. I am the city's planner. I'm also a resident of town with my office right here as well on Church Street here in Bordentown. Been a planner for, I guess, better part of almost 25 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, hopefully you can't see as much of the age through my gray hair. But, you know, but yeah.
So, I know a lot of feedback was online. You can go to the city website and find the comprehensive master plan and look it over. But, I don't think a lot of people go to the website. So I thought, and Dan brought this up, hey, let's have a chat so you can, kind of explain what the master plan is to people who don't really know a lot about it. So if you could just give us like a little brief,
Sure.
thing about it.
Yeah. So every community in the state of New Jersey has to have a comprehensive master plan in place to what to effectuate zoning. Meaning,
Okay.
if you're going to have zoning that's going to govern residential property, business district, et cetera, you have to have a plan that sets forth the overall vision for how you want the community to grow and prosper.
Okay.
Right? So a master plan really sets the stage. It's not the end all. It's the 40,000 foot look that does get down to the street level, of course, but it is a broad vision for how we want the community to grow and preserve and improve over time. For this master plan, we absolutely did not want to reinvent the wheel.
Okay.
We think that the historic charm of the town, the street network, our connections to the river, all those things are important components that don't need to be changed. They just need a little bit of TLC.
Okay.
And so what you'll see when you read through the plan is really, that spirit that somebody told me it reads like a love affair of mine with the city, which I do have a love affair with the city because when I came here, I absolutely wanted to be in a town like this. And so, as a professional looking at, these bigger picture issues, I of course start to see how we can do better at connecting the dots, so to speak.
Okay.
And then what the city does with a master plan from there is works on the details. So in this master plan, you'll see there's things about historic preservation. We already have a commission that needs some reinvigoration, so we recommend reinvigorating. There's an open space and rec plan that the Environmental Commission has been working on. We recommend continue to work on that and work with the community and get details on things like dog parks and pathways and stronger connections to the waterfront, et cetera. And then there's things that involve the pedestrian and bicycle circulation network, improvements that need to be put down on paper, engineered with an engineer, but also further public input on that. And then lastly are the zoning changes we're recommending. Right now, the way the zoning was put in place, it allows homeowners to do certain things, add sheds and additions and such, that with the way the zoning is today, it requires you to come to the zoning board and bear the expense to do something that maybe your neighbors already have those things.
Okay, I see.
And so what we're going to be trying to do is put zoning in place that's more representative of each street
Okay.
and the characteristics, because Mary's very different than Elizabeth,
Yes.
or Crosswicks or whatever. So looking at those and saying, okay, well, we got this size house on this size lots here. It doesn't make sense that it's the same zone as the street over there where the lots are smaller. It doesn't. So all it does is put a cost burden on those folks. So the board wanted to make things a little bit more efficient while also improving some of the more nuts and bolts in the infrastructure, so to speak.
And where can people go to find the master plan to read it over?
So the master plan is right on the city's website. If you follow the link from the planning board,
Okay.
it's even in the notices section on the front page. If you scroll down to the public notices, you'll see some frequently asked questions about what a master plan is, what it isn't. So, where you can submit your written comments. Uh, the 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 public notice on the next hearing, which will be June 6th, I believe.
I think it's June 6th or June 7th. I want to say June 7th. I think.
We'll double check that as we go. And then the plan itself. So there'll be an opportunity. It's the 7th. You're right.
Okay.
So June 7th, and then we've actually extended public comments, written comments through the 11th.
Oh, okay.
So when you hear the presentation on the 7th, because you might not understand exactly everything that's going on with the master plan, you'll get to hear the presentation and then still have an opportunity, once you actually understand it better, to provide more meaningful input.
Okay.
And the chairman really wanted that point to be stated emphatically, that usually public comment ends at the hearing. Well, here we didn't want to do that. Here we wanted people to get an understanding of what it is, and then give them a week
Oh, that's great.
to give some more meaningful input.
Well,
And then
it's
hopefully in the latter parts of June, have an actual hearing date so we can adopt it.
okay. And when will it be finalized, the master plan?
Well, if all goes well, which we've heard a lot of positive feedback so far,
Oh, good.
we're looking at June, the latter part of June. I think we were setting a date of the 22nd, I believe.
Okay. When's the last time the master plan has been updated and tweaked like this?
So, in accordance with the law, every 10 years you have to do what's called a re-examination report.
Okay.
So there was a re-examination report done in, I think, 2008. So we were a little bit behind in that. And then prior to the a comprehensive do with the master plan. Tristan, you remember what the date is of the original master plan for Bordentown? 83.
83?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
So we're overdue.
Okay. Yeah. Well, a lot has changed too. I mean, even in the past 4 years, a lot has changed with the business district, with, the Bordentown Historical Society. They're becoming more prevalent in the community. So we have a lot going on here. Yeah. Environmental Commission. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not just since the 80s, but I mean, even the past 4 years, it's changed. So, it's much needed.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of input are you looking for from people?
Well, I think the concepts that we've laid out, are versions of things we've already experienced in town. Looking at Farnsworth Avenue, for example. We love when the street is closed and it's open to the public, and the restaurants pour out into it, and the community comes together. We want to do more of that. Obviously, there's some issues in making sure that the surrounding neighborhood and the impacts of noise and stuff are mitigated. But there's things in the plan like that. There's taking Railroad Avenue, for instance, and drawing a pedestrian connection down to the water straight from
okay.
Railroad. Turning the beach, the gravel pit, into an actual beach, where you could still park your trailers, you could still access the water by boat, but maybe it becomes more of a public park. So there's different ideas across the board like that are, fine tuning the town, that we want to hear. Do you like, not like? What do you think? You think there's what do you think the issues are going to be when we actually get into the details of that?
Okay.
Because it's going to be important to gain the experience of folks who've been in town for a while, to know how things work. To say, hey, you need to contemplate how this street comes in, or this sidewalk works, or the poor lighting over here or there. Once we get into that level of detail, it'll be important. But but overall, the big picture stuff, is
Okay.
this the direction that you want to see the town go?
Okay. And I know we were saying, there were people online like, oh, I didn't know about this. I didn't know about this. It's not a big secret. It's not like people were down there like, well, we don't want the town to know. Like you want the town to have feedback. You want some input, and for you to extend it like this, for a meeting and then keep it open still for more public comment, that's a great thing. Is there anything else you kind of want to get across to the community that you think is important about the master plan? I
Well,
I think it's important to the city, and I think, in my opinion, I went to the website and looked at it. That more people have to get involved. I was looking at like the statistics on there, and I was surprised. You know, more people didn't put their input in.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's, to me, in my opinion, because I admin the city page, it's so easy to complain online. But you know, go to the meetings, go check this out.
Yeah,
Like put
we've grown into such a society of convenience that online
yes,
enables us to just open up our computer and participate. But and it becomes difficult to pry yourself from the everyday
yeah,
and to get to a meeting or to join us online at 7 o'clock at night. And
hmm,
when the kids are running around, when you got to feed the dogs, or you just want to unplug from work.
yeah,
To say that I have to, oh, I got to go to another meeting, it's difficult. We
yeah.
understand. So we've been trying to provide as many opportunities for feedback.
Okay.
If you go online, there's an email address. You can email our comments there. We put the community survey out. Early parts or latter parts of last
Hmm.
year, leading into COVID, and then we extended it because when COVID hit, we were like, oh well, we got a captive audience now. And once we did,
Yeah.
we actually got a whole lot more
Oh, good.
participation in that. Um, but I think overall, if you can join us online here at a presentation on the 7th, that'd be great. But if not, the plan's there. It's I think it reads really well, and it's not trying to turn Bordentown into something that we're not.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
which
I think people shouldn't be afraid of that. It's not like you're trying to make it a little New York City. Like you said,
yeah,
you love this town. You like the charm of a little town. We have history. We have shops, dining, residents. So there's a lot going on.
yeah,
And I'll have to say it was an easy read. Like it, sometimes I thought, I'm like, oh God, I don't know if I'm going to get through this whole thing. But when I started reading, I'm like, this is really easy to read.
yeah.
It's
Thank you.
for people. It's easy for people to get through. It's not like a boring, like, oh God, like I'm reading a grant proposal or something that I don't understand. But it was understandable.
Yeah,
So I
thank you.
think you guys did a really great job with that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's oftentimes, in our profession, it's easy to kind of, start veering off into really wonky technical land.
Yeah.
But it was important for us to make sure it was digestible and that they, for the regular Joe and Jane who, just, wants to have a clear understanding without having to read, 5 million pages
Oh,
of
yeah.
something. So, again, I just think, it was easy to write because, there is so much about this town that's great. And I think if we just connect the dots better in some respects, and make little incremental surgical improvements,
Hmm.
so we need a scalpel, not a sledgehammer,
Yeah.
you know. So, and the important thing is that COVID taught us a lot about who we are as a community. We saw people becoming more active. The street life changed out there. There
Hmm.
became a different understanding of how parking really works and doesn't work in some respects, and outdoor dining and all those things that some people have grown to really appreciate and want to figure out how do we then extend that beyond the
Yeah.
pandemic. So in like I said, in surgical ways, not in wholesale change.
All
So
right. Well, thank you for sitting down and talking to me. I actually
sure,
understand a little more too now. So, now the meeting June 7th, right?
yeah,
June 7th, 7 p.m. Will there be
7 p.m.
a Zoom link to that too?
Yes, there will be
Oh,
absolutely.
good, good.
Yeah.
I was
So
hoping all the meetings, like they'd keep that even after COVID
yeah,
ends.
we thought it was important for this one in particular, even as things are starting to open up a little bit to be able to provide both
Yeah,
in
yeah. I think
person
it's a good idea.
Zoom.
I like zooming into the town meetings, so I said I like wearing my cat hats and popping on camera.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Chuck, for taking the
Absolutely.
time to sit down with me. I don't want to. I know you're a busy man, and thank you for drafting that. Like you said, it's digestible. It's easy for us to read, um, and I think it's important for the town.
Cool.
So thank you for
Thank
all your
you.
hard work.
Appreciate it.
All right, so this has been Brenna. Pay attention to the comprehensive master plan. Go to the city website, utilize that. Like he said, if you go to the homepage, scroll down, and it's under announcements, and give them some feedback because that's what they want. We all have one common goal, and that is we love the city, and we want to see it go and prosper into the future. So have a good day, B Town.